Below the Void podcast.
Oh wait, Mark, you do it because she's your dog.
Yeah,
It's
there you
okay.
go.
Get the raspberries.
No, because it's your dog.
Yeah. Although when I had her last weekend, she was my dog, if you know what I mean.
Oh my god.
Oh, Jesus
Mr.
Christ.
B's admitting on a live mic that he spread peanut butter on his balls and let Tracer lick it off.
I didn't spread it. I sprayed it, obviously.
Oh,
yeah.
God, okay, that makes it a lot
It
better.
went where it went when he sprayed it, Don.
Because for those 3 days, she was my dog.
Sure. Well, welcome everybody to episode 3 of Below the Void. How's everyone doing today?
You can't just start it.
Oh, he did.
Oh,
He
here's
just
the
started
thing
it.
though. I did. It's done.
Yeah,
So
that's your prerogative.
Bye, Tracer.
She'll be back.
oh yeah.
She's getting some more peanut butter.
How you-
So Mr. B, I saw you had some thoughts on the episode we did without you.
Yeah.
Yeah, you sort of
Guys, let me just say, I thought it was a well thought out and well discussed episode, and I have no notes.
Thank you. I really appreciate that.
Yeah.
Mr. B, on the other hand, he had some issues with it.
You got some issues. You got some tissues.
So here's the thing, Mr. B. I have a couple of rebuttals to some of the shit you brought up.
Let's
Because
rebut.
per usual,
ass.
you were just dead fucking wrong about some stuff. So
like the Condemned movie with Stone Cold wasn't awesome? I was wrong about that? Yeah.
I never saw
never
that
saw
movie,
that.
Debunked.
but it didn't have anything to
Neither
do
have
with the game.
Oh, okay.
So you seem to have an issue with us not telling you about the Call of Cthulhu game.
Yeah, I have no recollection of that.
Interesting, because I seem to recall you were there when we went to Duluth this year, where me and Blair discussed on several occasions the new Call of Cthulhu game.
Well, you guys were also in the back, so a lot of times I couldn't hear what you were asking.
Oh, Mr. B. Mr. B.
Did you or did you not eat?
I didn't realize
Fit
there was
Girls
a
with
new one.
us.
I thought, is it a remake of the one that was out on like Xbox?
No,
No,
it's a
brand new
totally
game.
unique
Well,
game.
if you did, then my ass plumb forgot.
Yeah, you
But-
You
I
planned
think
forgot.
I think it's 60% your fault, 40% mine.
60-40? Bullshit.
You were in the back while I was stuck driving, getting tickets.
We also talked about it at the breakfast table at Fitgers. I
I
know
wasn't
you were
paying
there.
attention there. There was food on my plate.
Whatever.
I mean, speaking of that venture,
You, I also wanted to troll you. You did have a legitimate concern about the intro being too long, which I agree. I'm gonna cut the intro down a bit. But just to troll you, when I put the episode up, I debated putting the intro in front of it and like speeding it down like 4 times so that the intro was 8 minutes.
you should have. Even though I specifically said, "Hey, this
No
doesn't need
intro
an
needed,
no
yeah.
intro needed," did my own.
As soon, I was like, you know what? You have a legitimate concern with the intro being too long, but I worked fucking hard on that. Fuck you, Mr. B.
I was gonna do?
Fuck you.
I didn't say it didn't work hard. You know what I was gonna do? If I had more time, instead of just the file on my phone, I was gonna upload it in Pro Tools and I was gonna edit. I was gonna say, because I talk about, nice short intros are nice. I was gonna have that, and then at the very end, I was gonna say outros is where it was at, and I was gonna find like a 14-minute song and put it at the end.
Jesus Christ.
But I didn't. I didn't have time.
Also, PUBG? You don't know what PUBG is.
No, fuck Pub. No, you said it like 87 times. What the fuck's PUBG? And a lot of people might not. You never explained it. Just like, oh yeah, man, when PUBG. And I don't know about PUBG because PUBG.
It's
PUBG.
the hottest new pub in town. You haven't been there?
You
Is that
ever
where
been to
G's hang out?
PUBG?
It's
G's hang
haunted
out?
too. You didn't know PUBG was haunted?
No, I didn't know.
It's Player Unknown's Battlegrounds. It's the game
Sucks.
The fuck is Player Unknown?
Yeah,
it's bullshit. It's not good.
It's
So
a hot piece of broken
so
garbage.
PUBG, the developer,
But people
the
love it.
studio.
It's
Who's
a cash
PUBG?
grab game.
No,
Yeah.
it's the shorthand for Player Unknown's Battlegrounds.
PUBG. PUBG.
Acronym.
Yeah.
For our
Yeah.
listeners at home, Mr. B's brain just exploded.
Also, I took some umbrage with you thinking I was humble bragging. Like, I'm not stoked that I have to do that. But upon listening to it,
on the mic.
upon listening to it again, I fucked up that thing. I said it was an FCC rule. That's not. It's an FTC rule, the Federal
Yeah,
Trade
you dumb
Commission.
fuck.
So that was a legit fuck up on my part. The FCC has nothing to do with that.
No, no, it's an
No, I didn't-
FDA rule.
I didn't actually care. I just figured, ooh, this is a good note.
No, like, as we got the podcast going, like, I had already dropped, like, between the website and paying for a year of the podcast bandwidth, I had dropped, like, $550 on getting the podcast up and running again. And then we had a meeting at work that was, like, things you can and can't do as a member, as a leader in this company.
You cannot podcast.
No. It was just, like, you can't talk about anything in the gaming world without
Right.
clearly disclosing who you work for and that it's your opinion.
And I
whatever.
got that. I just wanted an excuse to say, we get it, you're neat. I just wanted an excuse to say that. I
For the
found out.
record, bro, I think you're mad neat.
Thank you. That's so nice.
You're pretty neat.
I had
Yeah, I did have some nice things. I did have a nice thing to say about you at the end.
that I was a pussy.
Not the very end. Not the very
No,
end.
not that part.
No, when I was like,
Before I called you a pussy.
when I was like, I don't know if they're gonna listen to this. Don Mikes, I think he's a bit of a fan of me, but Blair, he's, on Mr. B.
It goes all the way back to the Waking Blair's Demon Claws.
Yeah.
I was looking through. I was on my computer the other day, and I still have the folder that has all the clips from the first 10 episodes when we did a clip show.
Yeah.
Which was literally a clip show of 87 2-second sound bites, and one of them was just titled "Villain." So I opened it up. I was like, oh, maybe there's a little context here.
No, it's just Mark
2
saying,
seconds.
Mr. B, you're the villain
Mr.
of
B,
this
you're definitely the
podcast.
villain of this podcast.
Yeah.
And that was it. So I got no context.
You checked
And
it?
I tried to check. Couldn't check all the tapes. I don't know what episode's on, and the listeners have not gotten feedback.
So
on the
you're
tape.
you're leaning into the villain thing. If your villain trajectory is the same as Darth Vader, that episode you did yesterday was your killing the younglings moment. Like you are irredeemable at this point.
No,
Unforgivable.
maybe in your eyes that wasn't that bad. I could do a lot worse. That we
You
compared to
said,
Killing
okay,
Eve.
so
Don't.
you sent it to me
you want to wake
yesterday.
my demons?
Yeah.
You sent it to me yesterday, like in the middle of the day, and
Middle of the day. It was 4:00.
That's the middle of the day.
Smells like
I
goddamn
work until almost 8 o'clock now, so yeah, that's the middle of the day for me. I was having a really, really shitty day at work,
Well, I didn't know that.
and then
bro.
I get this and I start listening to it and I'm like, oh,
Hey, I prefaced what it was. I didn't know you had a shitty day at work, bro.
and I'm listening to it and I'm like, this makes me want to fucking die.
Did you cry?
I didn't cry then. I cried a little bit on the way home, but it wasn't just because of that. It was just one of those fucking everything.
I did my best.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
exactly what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't know, bro. Hey, I told you this bite's too hard. You didn't have to post it. So
Yeah,
obviously
but
you got through, but
your best.
you understand. Content is king.
yeah, content is
And if you want me to pull
Actually,
up
I'm
the
gonna
equivalent
say
of killing younglings, then let's fucking go.
content is queen. Fucking hashtag smash the patriarchy.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Hashtag not my USA.
Damn right. Holy shit, that is
Tracy?
that is a dog zooming to, oh no.
Oh, you got that zoom, and your boom, boom.
She bump.
Bumping the
pooped.
Oh, my
table.
dog's boom boom.
She just pooped.
Oh, that boom boom. She went boom boom.
Tracer, you went boom boom. Good job.
Okay.
Mama's calling. Oh,
She don't give a
okay.
fuck
Hi.
about
Hello.
Mom.
Hello.
Sorry.
Yeah, I just said good job. It doesn't mean.
So yeah. Oh, you wanted me to know about us because you were like, oh, we should start recording when I started talking about Red Dead. So far, I'm loving it. It's just 2 separate times when I went with. I don't think I can. I mean, obviously, I'll have to figure a way to continue the main storyline. I'm sure when you go with Kieran is his name, the guy you have prisoner at the beginning.
Yeah.
And he takes you to the where the O'Driscolls are hiding out of that cabin and stuff. 2 different times, wiped out all the O'Driscolls that were there. Went
Yeah.
in. The guy charged me. Kieran killed him. And went in there, and they were like, oh, God, there's always stuff in the chimney. And you go to get the chimney, look in there, there's the gun on top. It's like, ooh, take the gun. Every time, stuck. Arthur can't get off the rug.
Oh my god.
Can't walk off the
Seriously?
rug. Twice that happened. So I'm like, oh, I guess I'll just do side missions for now, and hopefully it'll figure it out, or I guess, because that seems like it's a storyline progression.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
what
that's
that's a
what
main
it is.
mission.
So I'm like, oh.
So every time you retry the mission, that happens again?
Well, I've done it twice and that's happened, and then now I've just been like, fuck it, I'm side missioning for a while.
Have you tried it thrice?
I'm going to eventually.
Okay.
I just didn't want to get frustrated again, so I was like, I'm going to actually do stuff in this game instead of just repeating it and then getting stuck and taking the chance. Let me go, get some bounties, find that crazy
I do
chick.
like doing the bounties. Bounties are fun.
Bounties are great.
But
Especially it's good when you got that guy who falls off the cliff, and instead of pulling him up, you just say, fuck the money, and you drop him.
Oh, yeah.
Fuck the bonus.
Fuck the bonus.
Yeah, and
Fucking
then my
blow
fucking
up
horse...
Gene Simmons' head.
And then I unfortunately had to kill my horse, and
Oh,
I had
yeah.
a 8-mile hike to Valentine with my saddle that took 3 days.
You know you don't have to bring your saddle.
I knew that once I got there.
Yeah, that-
I didn't see the little memo that said when you get to when you get to the stable, a new saddle will
The
appear.
exact same thing happened to me.
I didn't see that.
Oh, all my shit is in the saddle.
And then I
better
get there and it's
bring
like,
it back.
oh, guess what? You had to, in order to keep your stamina up to, get to Valentine, use all your shit, and you don't have enough money for a horse. So I'm like, okay, I guess I gotta go get money. I didn't have enough to sell, so I'm like, okay, I guess I gotta go get a bounty. So I was like, okay, set my saddle here, got a bounty. Oh, here's a horse. I'm getting on the horse, and it's like, oh, guess what? You're wanted for horse robbery?
Yeah, you
I
stole
got
a
down,
horse.
Nothing. But then when I get to the bounty, they're like, oh, you stole a horse. If you steal a horse, you can't grab a bounty 6 miles away.
Yeah, it's like stealing a car.
Yeah, you
But-
you gotta clear
okay,
your
I have-
bounty.
I
Go to
Which I get, that's
the
fine.
station and pay your bounty.
your
and you'll
bounty.
be fine.
Yeah, but I had to save up money to buy a
They
new
don't
goddamn horse.
deal with criminals.
So you know what
I
I,
ha-
did?
I
You
have-
know what I did? I rode around on that horse for about 3 days doing shit, and then I went to Valentine. It was just fine, and all of a sudden that horse is mine now. I didn't have to buy
Yeah,
a
you
horse,
could do
so-
that, I
Horse in
suppose.
Cozumel by now.
Did you
Put a saddle
did you
on
just declare squatters' rights on the horse?
Well, I just was riding around on it, and then I went back to Valentine, and there was nothing. They were cool with me.
I
that
have a
is-
suggestion. Don't kill your horse.
Yeah.
I didn't try to.
There's
I
an
was
item.
chasing after some bitches.
There's an
and they
item
went to
you
a
can
woods
buy-
area,
Did you shoot your
and then I
horse
hit
in
a
the face?
tree,
Oh, you hit a tree?
rock, and then a tree. I got up
Broke
fine,
its little neck.
but then my horse couldn't, so I had to gut it.
There's an item you can buy called the horse reviver. It's expensive,
It's
but
like
keep
horse
one in your
salts.
inventory,
Oh, yeah,
and when
yeah.
your horse is like on the verge of death, you can give that
I was
to him.
wondering
and
because it said
it'll-
revive, but it wouldn't give me an option to do it. I
It's
was
good
like, oh.
because once you get a horse, you kind of get attached to it.
Yeah, you gotta name
levels
it.
up
and
with
you
it.
You
gotta-
can
Faster.
if you're good enough with your horse, you can Tokyo drift with it.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Can
You know
you
what I
Tokyo?
mean?
Can you Tokyo drown though?
Yeah, Liam Nason could drift like no one's business.
You know what I named my horse?
Jeff Rotel?
Hoof-hearted.
Oh, you don't know that. Is it your own on, or can you actually go in and rename your horse?
You can rename him.
You can rename him. Yeah.
Fun story.
Liam Nason.
So I don't know if I'm going to be able to progress much in the story. Or if my
I
game
think
will
it'll
fuck me.
correct itself. That's the thing. I honestly
Great.
didn't have any funny bugs in that game until after I beat it.
I didn't have any real bugs in that game either.
Yeah, I'm like 4%
Usually
in.
with
It's like,
Rockstar
oh.
games, you'd get funny bugs once you entered in ridiculous cheat codes.
Yeah,
If
like
there are any.
I have some videos of some funny bugs,
Yeah.
but
Oh my
they weren't even
god.
really bugs. They were just like
Just like
weird
physics
weird
quirks.
physics quirks. Yeah.
Oh, did you
But-
have one about the cut a rug?
No.
Because that's what I'm calling this. Because I'm
cut a
stuck on a
rug.
rug. I'm stuck,
Stuck
on a rug.
Yeah.
And all I
Stuck
can
like
do
a
is I
bug on
can
a rug.
squat down and look in the chimney.
Do you
with
have
like- and
dynamite?
there's
Maybe if
nothing-
you throw some dynamite near
but
you,
also,
you can blow
it said-
yourself out of the.
Also, it definitely says,
Throw a grenade.
check the chimney. There's always money in the chimney. There's fucking nothing in the chimney.
Are you
Fucking
sure?
nothing?
Fucking nothing. I fucking even took my lantern into that shit.
Well, those O'Driscolls are shifty, man.
Yeah, they are
I gotta-
shifty.
They got,
Yeah, but
they got sticky rugs.
But Kieran, I mean, he's named after a Culkin, so I think he's legit.
He is named after a Culkin.
I've had a lot
Not my
of
favorite
time.
Culkin. Rory's my favorite.
I've had a lot of time with the Resident Evil 2 remake. Have you guys played it yet?
Bro,
Oh,
I just started Red Dead. I haven't played fucking Uncharted 4 yet.
Resident Evil 2
So
remake
I'm not getting
is
Resident Evil.
it is excellente.
It's primo.
It's like they didn't pull any punches with the difficulty.
Is that the
level
one where it's
either.
adorable at the beginning when the dogs explode?
No.
Oh, okay.
You didn't see. Okay, you're like, oh, you're a sick fuck. You think dogs exploding is fun? If you've seen that video, you would see how it's like Triumph the Insult comic dog. Like that's
Yeah.
But he's got
I
squibs coming out
I just
of
thought it
him.
was funny. It was like, oh, at the beginning, like the puppet and the squibs and the dog, and they're exploding. It's adorable.
If you
We're
if
saying
you
that
see it
the
and you
effort
don't
is adorable.
and you don't think it's adorable, you're dead inside. Fucking.
I think
I don't know if you want to stand on that platform.
I think
If you
the
think that dog is born adorable, you're dead.
I think
Open up the safe inside your heart where you store your joy, Mr. B. You fucking weirdo.
I think
You hold your tongue.
the
I have more
image
joy in my
of
life
a bunch
than
of
you.
like super
Heated.
a bunch of super
heated.
professional like
Hold me back.
Japanese professionals
Do you guys want
standing around with dog puppets,
Should we just
exploding
fucking-
them. I
should we
just
fucking
think
oil
that's
roast this
hilarious.
out? Shirts off, boys.
Do you have oil?
Got peanut butter.
Do you have jelly? I prefer syrup.
I have syrup. Yeah, you guys.
All right. Well,
Let's get a tarp down here.
the
Get
loser
naked.
eats the winner's ass with some syrup.
Let's do it.
Oh my god.
No,
need to-
I'm stronger than you, bro.
We need to clear the air here. Should we discuss socks? Who's got the wackiest socks today?
I didn't bring wacky socks.
I have
We
thermal
got.
thermal socks. There's nothing wacky about them.
Kind of, Mr. B.
Better be
Mr. B's got
Gryffindor.
That's fucking shit. I don't
you a
like those.
I mean, I could
You're
either go
wearing a
Gryffindor.
Slytherin top.
I
so-
could either go Gryffindor or Slytherin, so it depends on what the hat wants or what I'm feeling. that
I'm
day.
not a
It takes-
Harry
it
Potter
takes my
connoisseur,
choice
but
into,
if you're the villain, shouldn't you not be Gryffindor? Or is that not how that works
No,
in Harry
there was
Potter?
villains.
There's some
There
dickheads
was
in
there was-
Gryffindor.
yeah.
Are there
Slytherin-
villains?
There can be
though?
villains in any house.
Slytherin
Okay.
are not necessarily the villains. They're just ambitious and competitive. And
Yeah.
And a
Slughorn.
lot of times,
Cutthroat.
villains are ambitious and competitive and
Slughorn and
cutthroat.
Snape, my man.
Right.
He killed Bumblebee.
He did kill Bumblebee.
Oh, that's
He killed Bumblebee. Okay,
Well-
before we get into the main topics at hand, I have a bunch of little tidbits if you have any. Oh,
I actually would like to. We actually have a listener submitted experience that I would like to read for
no,
everyone.
fuck that. Just kidding. Go.
Jesus. Well, so this is a very, very personal experience. I'm actually kind of surprised she shared it with us, but I'm glad she did because I think it's very.
What platform did it get shared on?
It actually was sent directly to our email at info@belowthevoid.com. Like I said, it's a very personal experience. It's about what she experienced around her mother's death last year.
Yeah. Okay.
So-
Okay,
I'm done
that
now.
is personal. Wow.
Yeah. So
Okay.
it's a little heavy, but I think it's a great experience, and I'm really thankful that she shared it with us. So I'm going to read it for everyone.
Take forever.
Yeah, seriously.
That was my way of stalling while I opened up the email.
Oh,
Okay. See,
Be prepared.
that's
Here you go.
podcast magic right
yeah,
there.
there
Yeah.
you go. There you go.
Professional.
So it says, I wanted to share with you all the events that took place around my mother's death in March of 2018. Her health had begun to decline rather rapidly in the first few months of the year, which led me to return home to Washington State where she resided to say goodbye. The first few days of my trip were spent talking with doctors, signing forms for hospice care, and spending time with my siblings. The day before I arrived, my mother lost the ability to speak, but in the moments I sat with her, I could tell she knew I was there. Each time I would go to visit her, I became adamant that my siblings accompany me. I was very close with my mother, and watching her die of cancer was absolutely devastating. The only other loss I experienced of this magnitude was my grandfather, who passed from cancer 8 years prior. Since his death, I've had numerous dreams of him that I can only describe as visitations. These are very real, clear, and vivid. In these dreams, I'm very often aware that he is dead, and I mention that he cannot possibly be there. On the morning of March 4th, the day of my mother's death, I had one of these dreams of my grandfather. In the dream, I saw him sitting on a large piece of driftwood staring out at the ocean. I came to sit next to him, but he continued to look at the water. He then reached over, grabbed my hand, and said, "You're strong. You can do this." When I woke up, I knew what he was trying to tell me, even though I didn't want to believe it at the time, that my mother was close to death. I got my sons up and ready for the day. To shake the dream from my head, I took them on a walk on the beach. My oldest son, who was 3 at the time, was playing happily in the sand when he stood up and stared out at the water. In a quiet voice, he told me that my mother had come here with my grandfather. "Grandma came here with great-grandpa," he said. I froze and stared at him in disbelief. There was absolutely no way My son could have known that my family has a long history here, and that my grandfather came here numerous times with my mother. As the day progressed, I couldn't shake this strong need to be with my mother. Perhaps it was grief or something more. I won't ever really know for sure. I met my father for a late lunch, all the while thinking I should be with my mother. Our meal concluded, and I left my children in the care of trusted family. As I walked through the doors of the care facility where my mother was at, I began to feel heavy. I asked the nurses where my siblings had gone, and they informed me they had just left, moments ago, to get my cousin who had come off the ferry. My heart sank, knowing I would have to face my mother's condition alone. As I walked into her room, I had noticed she had gone into distress. Frightened, I ran to get the nurses who tried to help her. They informed me that she likely only had moments to live and that it was time to say goodbye. I could still remember the sound of my heart pounding in my ears. I took her hand, and the first words that came out of my mouth were that she needed to go to my grandfather because I knew that he was waiting for her. Time felt as though it slowed in that moment, and then suddenly my mother was gone, and I sat there alone. In the 10 minutes my siblings had left, I had arrived, and my mother had passed while I was alone with her. I knew then why my grandfather had told me I could do this. I walked out moments before my family had returned, and the nurses turned to me telling me that they believed she had waited for me. Now it says, I chose to share this story with you all because, although I haven't quite ironed out what exactly I believe the afterlife is, I do know that there is one. They say that when someone you love is close to death, the veil becomes paper thin, and those who are sensitive will notice this. My experiences from my mother's death were too profound not to share. I appreciate you reading this, and I hope that you have, at the very least, found it interesting.
Wow.
Shit.
Yeah. So, obviously, that's a super personal experience. I was really, really excited that we were able to share that. So, I've actually talked with her about this.
But look at the table, Tracer. Okay.
I've actually talked with her about this. We're pretty good friends. And I asked her about what she describes as, like, visitations. Mm-hmm. And I said, well, you know, like, I have dreams sometimes that are more vivid than others, or where I can suss out that certain things aren't the way they are in real life in the dream. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, how can you tell the difference between a dream you're having and one of these things that you feel are like a visitation, or that are like more? And she said that the feeling of the visitations are like generally the same every time. Like her awareness mentally is the same each time. Like, she knows she's dreaming, she knows that the person she's talking to is dead, and they give her information that she wouldn't necessarily have in her mind, and she always wakes up and sort of feels the same way about it. So I thought that was pretty interesting, because my dreams, I don't even remember them most of the time, and the ones I do remember are like troubling and odd and gross.
Yeah, unless you're really good at lucid dreaming.
So yeah, I was gonna say, is there like a lucidity to it then? Like she's aware that when that happens, that like something has clicked, and she knows that it's a dream.
Part of it. Usually, lucid dreaming is people are like,
I mean,
what do I want to dream about tonight?
You think about lucid dreaming, and you have to have like triggers that you know, like, okay, I see this, so now I know it's a dream. Like, you train yourself to have those things.
Yeah.
I tried to get myself, years ago, and I think I got a little bit, but not that good. But so now I can remember more of my dreams now, though.
It's something, it's something you can work at. But to be able to have like she described, a visitation, that's, I'm pretty jealous. Like you said, I have dreams, but usually it's over something.
I get visited by shadow people. Does that count?
Yeah. Sleep paralysis.
Does Stanley count? Stanley was technically the name of our grandpa.
Stanley.
I mean, I named him after Grandpa because he doesn't seem to want to hurt me. But you know,
we should probably
which is weird
because
your grandpa really wanted to hurt you. So it's fine.
We have talked about his sleep paralysis in
episodes. I think we have. Yeah.
I've been getting more of that lately.
The experience of having that dream of her grandfather the day before that her mom passed.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's
like
nuts.
it's one of those things where I asked her too. I'm like, was it comforting? Was it, how did it make you feel? And I I don't remember exactly, but I think she said like the comforting factor came later.
I was
Like,
gonna say, yeah.
in the moment it was
I would be unsettled.
it was
at first.
it was scary and
Yeah.
and obviously extremely sad.
Yeah.
Another thing too, like her mom's cancer had progressed so quickly. Like just a few months earlier, she was like totally healthy, so it had progressed really fast. I know it was a really, really, really tough time for them. So, I once again appreciate sharing that with us. Thank you so much.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's a genuinely
And
like
deathbed sort of experiences are there's a lot of them, and
Yeah.
and there's a
Yeah.
lot of them
Like
for
a
people
phenomenon
who
in itself.
a lot of them from people who don't have any stake in like the whole paranormal thing. There's a lot of nurses who work with people at the end of their life who
Oh, sure.
like all of them have a story about something weird happening as people are dying. So that's something that I think we should definitely get into.
That reminded me
yeah.
of something. Not on the same. This is more funnier, and it's not to actually do with that, but it has to deal with hospitals and dead people. It was mostly because at the time my grandma I think was drugged up on stuff, just because it was years ago. She went in for like a bladder infection or something. And at the time she was like 94, so that was a little serious. So they had to give her some drugs or whatever. And my dad told me he went to visit her, and she goes. She was losing her mind a little bit on with the drugs, and she's like, my dad, she put me in, she goes, there are dead people here.
Oh.
People dying here. My dad's like, well, Mom, it's a hospital. It happens. She's like, no. In the middle of the night, I look out in the hallway. I can see them wheeling them out in wheelbarrows.
Wheelbarrow.
wheelbarrows. Holy shit!
Whoa, that's creepy.
That's creepy as fuck.
And then I investigated, and it turns out they're wheelbarrowing dead bodies into a furnace.
Well, that hospital needs a better budget. I hate to.
Yeah, they gotta get some gurneys.
Yeah, it was Children's Hospital of Minnesota.
They gotta get some
My
fucking
94-year-old
gurneys.
grandma was there.
So
yeah,
did-
that reminded me of
Did your grandma pass away then?
No.
Or okay, I
No,
was
she
gonna
made
say
another 2 years.
Okay.
All her salt and onion sandwiches she could have. No,
Salt and onion.
Good
she was
God.
living at my aunt and uncle's house.
Did she survive the depression? She must have.
She did, yeah. She used to bootleg with my great grandpa, and a lot of times he was like no show because he was also a drunk. So my grandma and her mom had to deal with like federal agents that were coming
Drinking
to the
his
door
own bootleg
and
hooch.
shit.
They had to deal with what's his name?
Al Capone.
No, the actor from Lawless. I can't think of his name.
Tom Hardy.
Tom Hardy.
No, guy. No, the bad guy. The federal.
Guy
agent.
Pierce.
Guy Pierce.
Okay.
Thank you.
Guy Pearce.
He was a weirdo
No, so
in
she
that
actually
fucking
was.
movie.
yeah.
But no, when she was at my aunt and uncle's one time, my aunt came out in the middle of the morning. Not in the morning. Middle of the morning, she came out and there was like bread and like onion skin and salt all over the counter. And then a little bit later, when my grandma comes out of bed, her face is all bloated up because in the middle of the night, I guess she made a salt and onion sandwich.
What the fuck?
Apparently, she used to like it when she was younger, but yeah.
Salt and onion sandwich.
I wonder if you could just salt your onion cake, the Cubs onion cake.
The Cubs onion cake, yeah.
I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Onion
but
cake.
You don't remember the jokes you make. It's ridiculous.
I
Yeah.
don't remember
Yeah,
onion
go-
cake.
go-
There,
around
there,
the
like
Cubs,
several
get yourself
years
an
ago,
onion
we were talking about hush puppies, and Mark was
Okay.
like, "Oh, it's gross. It's like onion cake," and Mr. B was like, "Oh, onion cake? You don't like onion cake? What about Cubs onion cake?"
Good times back when I was nice. So it's funny. One of the last episodes, you know how we were talking about joke. We were talking about Chris Hansen, and we were like, "Oh, wouldn't it be funny if he got arrested?" And Don's like, "Oh, people always say all the
Oh,
time."
I know what you're
Oh,
gonna
yeah.
He
say.
actually did get arrested.
Yeah, but
Not
it
for
was for a bounce check.
writing $13,000 in bad checks.
It was
It was one check.
It was
Oh, that
one
was
bad
two.
check.
One bad check.
And it was
Well, no,
apparently
he tried the check
It was
twice.
for mugs, shirts, and decals that he was going to sell on his own business.
Yeah, it was for the Kickstarter.
And then when they
had.
called him on it, he refused to pay. And then he also got evicted from his New York City apartment.
Chris,
Oh, Chris.
And his wife is leaving him.
Chris.
Wait, his wife left him
No,
alone.
no,
Yeah, his
no.
wife left him
His
a long
new
time ago.
lady that he cheated on his wife with, and now she's leaving him.
Chris,
Oh no!
my boy. My boy Hanson!
Oh, Hanson.
I did see that like 2 days after you said, wouldn't it be funny? And I was like, no, it wouldn't be funny.
I said that
Because
note.
Hanson's a delight.
I had
Do you
that note
think
for a
whoever
while.
served him his divorce papers
From some
said,
cookies.
"You're gonna want to take a seat."
Yeah,
why
why
don't
don't
you
you
have a seat right there?
Why don't you have a seat
You wanna
right
take
over
a seat.
there?
A couple more things.
Apparently, he was very nice, though, about the whole thing. I read the thing, and the headline I
But
read
apparently,
was like...
when they call him on it and saying, "No, I'm not going to pay that money for those bounce checks,"
The-
that's not the nicest.
the
The article that I read, it said that when the guy called him like for the second time, he's like sincerely apologized and said he thought it had been sorted out and that he would contact his bank.
I thought it was
the-
sorted
the
out.
article that I
But
read-
he didn't have the money to cover it, and so you know.
the article that I read had like the headline like "How to Catch a Predator Star arrested for felony," and then it was like
Right.
it was like
Clickbait.
Class D felony.
Clickbait.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was like, he's
Bouncing-
fine.
He bought some,
Bouncing
it back.
some decal,
Fuck?
some Chris Hansen mugs
Oh,
and decals
no,
and
not
shirts.
my balls, doggy.
Chaser.
He doesn't have peanut butter on him, puppy.
There's no peanut butter on those.
Couple of things. I saw finally.
pick her up and
I know a
move
couple
her.
years ago we talked about this possibly happening because I heard about it. They finally the 10-part miniseries of The Stand finally got a green light
Oh wow.
at CBS All Access.
CBS, huh?
All access. They're
All
streaming
access is
everywhere.
they
And
can get away with
apparently,
shit on
Stephen
that. apparently.
Stephen King's pretty on board with as far as like the scripts. Like
Who's the
apparently,
man in black in that?
well, originally when I heard the guy who was doing it was on one of Kevin Smith's podcasts like 4 years ago talking about it.
Yeah.
He already had McConaughey lined up
yeah.
to be the
Oh,
man in black,
really?
which tied in, and that's perfect. But now again, now they might be like, maybe we don't want to tie in with the.
But he was
second-
so-
Don't wanna be
right.
He was so good in it, though.
I haven't seen the movie, but right, he would be. But they might want to be like, maybe we might want to redo the Dark Tower, and if it might be weird if we
I'd be
just-
into that. If they redid the Dark Tower with
Yeah.
the same cast and just a better writer,
Just
Right.
do it better.
yeah,
Right.
just,
Every way.
Yeah,
just redo it
maybe
with the
maybe
same
don't
cast.
try to condense 7 epic novels into 1 hour and a half long movie.
Yeah.
Oh, did
maybe?
they? See, I still haven't seen it. I
Yes.
thought they tried to get like the first 3. I didn't know they tried to get all of them.
Fucking mess.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
So
really,
wait, you're telling me there's no
it's really
lobstrosities?
the first book and the second,
And
and,
this-
the last.
and
book.
the
the
last
last
book,
book,
yeah.
No lobstrosities.
No lobstrosities,
no
not a
ADD.
single
No ADD.
There,
lobstrosity.
there is a really cool action scene in it, a couple of them.
There's a couple
yeah.
of cool act, like,
But the movie is just a.
So wait, so it's the first last. So do they actually?
And it was cut
without
down to
being big
shit.
spoil, do they actually have the Crimson King?
No.
Show, no. Okay, gotcha.
The what's the name of the bar where all the Mongoloids are in? The something pig.
Mongoloid pig.
Oh, in the 7th book?
Yeah.
The Zit Eater and stuff? I can't remember what that place was
But
called.
Roland going. I'm sorry, no spoilers.
No, it's okay. I haven't seen it.
Roland
In 2
going
years.
in there is like that was, and shooting up the place was fan fiction at that point.
yeah.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
It was cool.
so
Yeah, it was cool to watch, but
I talked about this with Derek, and he texted me back, and he has the best analogy for what the Dark Tower
Oh,
movie
shit, dog.
was.
spider,
Oh,
careful.
I'm on it.
Sure.
It's right there
Oh,
on
I
the-
see it.
on the couch.
I'm on it.
How do you live in this
Ew.
cold?
Good eye.
Wow, you just fucking zoomed in, no fear.
That's what
Holy
they do,
shit.
yeah.
I got
Hell
some.
yeah.
I got some fun facts on spiders, if you guys want to hear.
How
No.
fun.
I'm all itchy now. God damn it. But yeah, this is how Derek described the Dark Tower movie.
Shut that
It was
jacket up.
like if there was a real Jurassic Park and they only gave you a tour in a jet airliner at 20,000 feet.
That's pretty good.
Just a little peek behind the curtain of just like
That's-
an epic world.
that's
Yeah,
very
it's
true.
pretty true.
And also another Stephen King. Apparently, he announced his next book. Mm-hmm. It's called The Institute.
Yeah.
Did you read the synopsis?
Yeah.
It kind of sounds like a darker X-Men. It said, in the middle of the night, in a house on a quiet street in suburban Minneapolis,
Shit.
intruders silently murder Luke Ellis's parents and load him into a black SUV. The operation takes less than 2 minutes. Luke will wake up at the Institute in a room that looks just like his own, except there's no window. And outside his door are other doors, behind which are other kids with special talents, telekinesis, telepathy, who got to this place the same way that Luke did. Kalisha, Nick, George, Iris, and 10-year-old Avery Dixon. They are all in front half. Others, Luke learns, graduated to back half. You check it like Roach Motel, Calissa says. You check in, but you don't check out.
Whoa.
I haven't
They have The Shining.
I haven't read The Outsider yet, but I heard The Outsider's pretty good.
I heard that too. I have not read it, but I hear it's really good.
Funny thing, every time I'm walking in Menards of all places, their little book kiosks.
Do you save big money there?
Yeah, always. I got a big card. Every time I have a little kiosk of books that they always have, that's by, as I'm walking around, and they always have The Outsider there. And I always tend to buy it because their books are cheaper than, buying them other places, but haven't done it yet.
Dixie Pig was what I could think.
Dixie Pig. There you go.
I got a couple more things. If anyone's got any little tidbits, little bitty tidbits.
Little Todd.
Keep
Todd
your
bits.
kids
So an
going.
update. I heard about it, but then I looked it up, and apparently this update actually came out a year ago, but I didn't hear it.
Okay.
An update for us. We talked about this years ago. About Vince Lee, the guy who decapitated the man on the Ontario bus.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. As your Vince Lee, the man was not found criminally responsible for beheading a man on a Greyhound bus in 2008, has been granted an absolute discharge. Manitoba Criminal
That
Code
sounds
Review
hot.
Board
Yeah.
ordered the discharge on Friday. This was last year. Saying Lee, now known as Willy Baker, does not pose a significant safety threat. Baker was found to have been suffering from untreated schizophrenia when he stabbed, beheaded, and partially cannibalized 22-year-old Tim McLean.
Well, it's just partially.
Baker was not
Yeah.
found criminally responsible in 2009, spent 7 years in treatment at Selkirk Mental Health Center before being allowed to move to Winnipeg, where he was treated at Health Sciences Center, which means he's the closest to Canada to us besides Thunder Bay. And then last year was permitted to move into independent living, but all he had to do, he had to abide by certain rules, which included taking medications and attending counseling appointments. So basically, you can behead a man and
You can
eat
behead
part of
a
it,
man
eat
and
part
eat
of
part
his,
of him.
his skull and stuff,
You
and
know what I bet
and
you
just be
said?
like, you know what, bro? If I only take my meds and go to some therapy, I'm good.
You know what? I just had a momentary
just-
lapse in judgment.
Let's try this out.
He probably just
Let's
said
see.
sorry, and they let him go.
I'm
so
so
sorry.
sorry. I didn't mean to behead
Sorry
him.
about that,
I mean,
bud.
I get if they find someone criminally, for insanity and schizophrenia and stuff.
They're just
and,
letting him live on his own.
But you can go to just as long as you take your meds.
Just take some meds.
Take some meds. Go see a psych every once in a while, and
He
just
prob-
don't behead anybody.
Just don't
eat
behead
'em.
the psych.
He probably said that right after he decapitated the guy. Like, took a bite of his head. Oh, sorry about that, bud. Didn't mean to take your head off there.
Oh, sorry. that was me
Sorry.
being a real hoser.
Yeah.
So I do have some more stuff. I was doing homework on this shit.
Yeah, sure.
So like a couple days after our last pod, I watched me some Bone Tomahawk,
Oh, hell yeah.
and I liked it a lot.
Uh-huh.
But it might have been because of your guys' review. It was not nearly as gory or violent as I thought it was going to be.
There's not a lot of violence, but when it happens, it fucking
Like,
happens.
even the-
Would
like-
you admit, though, you're pretty... Your level of-
Desensitized? Yeah, right. But I would and maybe it's because I knew it was coming. But when they split the guy from his taint down, there wasn't a lot of blood, which is a choice. That's fine. I was expecting a little more violence, but I still
I
liked
think
it.
it's just the brutality of the scene. You have to watch Kurt Russell's reaction to it. He can't do anything about it. You hear him scream because he's still alive
Right.
for a lot of it.
I
Like,
think
it's a disturbing
Yeah.
scene.
I think it would have been a little more effective if the guy who got split was someone who you had actually known, rather than you saw him in the sheriff's office for like half a second. When he's like, "Oh, you just watch here while I go," and that was the last time you see him, and then he gets dragged out by these guys, and then so it's like if it was someone we actually knew about, like if it was Matthew Fox's character or something like that, then care a little more. The one thing I thought about, and I don't care, it's the director's choice. I thought it was a little too long. I thought they could have trimmed some scenes down a little bit and I didn't think
It was a
needed to
slow
be, I didn't
burn.
need to be the slow burn didn't mind, but it didn't need to be 2 hours and 15 minutes. But I still liked it. But I just, maybe because you guys talked it up, the violence, I just kept waiting. I was like, okay, yeah, he chopped off one of the creature's toes with the tomahawk thing. I was like, there's got to be more coming. But but I still liked it. I did like that. At first, that they gave the creatures were kind of like supernatural,
The man's.
rather than just Native Americans who cannibalize people. They made them supernatural with the the weird calling thing. And
Well,
stuff.
they showed they have a certain thing surgically implanted in their throat.
That's what I thought. Okay, that's what I was getting at first. But then he rips it out, and I was like, did they surgically put it in there, or does that just are they born with it because they're little?
He rips it out and then he uses it as like a
cannibal
call.
That was fucking. He fucking rips it
Right.
out of the throat and then he plays it like an instrument to call them and to
And then
murder
he just
them.
fucking murders them as
It's
they come out.
fucking awesome. If
It
you
is
don't think
awesome.
that's awesome,
I didn't
you
say
can.
it wasn't awesome. Why? I just said it wasn't gory.
How could you
It
say
was-
that, Mr. B?
Don't listen to Mr. B. It is gory. If you don't have a stomach for
It's
gore,
gory.
don't
It's
watch
not
the
as
movie.
bloody as maybe it would be
Are you
with
saying
that level of gore.
could have used a little bit more gore? Or are you saying the way they talked about it, you thought it was a gore fest?
The way they talked about it, I thought it was going to be a gore fest.
No, I just wanted people to know
I
that
still
it's,
like the
It's-
movie.
Yeah, well, like
there's a lot of slow burn sort of indie horror movies that aren't gory, and that is not one of them.
yeah. We're just saying like
The Void is definitely.
The Void is gory as
We
fuck.
definitely didn't
But
talk
that's-
that one up.
the Void.
That's
the
meant
Void
to
has
be
like
like
it's
a
like the
remake of The
Thing levels
Thing,
gory.
yeah.
What I was going to jokingly say at the end of my 8-minute rant was like, oh, and next time we all get together, I have a bone to Tomahawk with the Burns boys. But I chose not to, and I'll just say it now.
Unbelievable.
And I did see
this
two
this
other
is the
movies.
shit we deal with.
Really.
on a
finally-
daily basis.
Last night I watched Hell House LLC on Prime, which I don't know if you heard about. It's kind of a indie movie.
The Zach Baggins one.
That's
no,
Demon House.
that's Demon
Oh,
That's
okay.
Demon
No,
House.
not walking fucking Bilbo Baggins movie.
I was gonna say, is he related to Bill?
No, Hell House LLC. It's kind of like Cloverfield, Blair Witch meets a haunted attraction, like House's Octoberville, kind of. It's pretty fucking good.
Like a hand cam, but they're...
Yeah, it's
When you say good, is it like Bone Tomahawk good, or is it like The Happening good?
Oh my god.
again, I liked Bone Tomahawk. No, it's not that gory. It's just so it's like that they're basically they buy this old house that 20 years ago used to be like a haunted attraction, and because it's supposed to be a haunted hotel upstate New York, and there's still some of the stuff in there. So these people are making it into a haunted attraction, and then they're like documenting the whole thing, and then
That's right in your wheelhouse.
weird shit starts happening. It's a lot of like you see stuff, and then all of a sudden, in the middle of the night, what's there, and then all of a sudden something's moved, and but then at
You
the
get
end
a
it starts
noise,
going off.
turns out it wasn't a noise.
No, this time the noise turns out to be stuff.
Sometimes it was actually a noise.
But it was pretty good. And then what we watched a couple weeks ago, finally saw Strangers Pray at Night.
Oh yeah.
I fucking liked it a lot.
I got one thing about it spoiled for me, and I thought it was a bold choice, and I appreciated it. It made me kind of want to see it more.
No, well, you can't go in it because it's been a decade later. You can't, imagine it to be like The Strangers. It's different from the first one.
I've heard it's Halloween 2.
slash.
It's
like
Halloween 2, the Halloween.
2, more 80s slasher.
If The Strangers was Halloween,
fun, right?
This is Halloween.
And that's probably a good choice, being a decade later and stuff.
It's more of a
If
straight
it's Halloween
slasher
2,
movie.
does that mean that
They're setting
Liv
me up.
Tyler is the Man in the Mask's sister?
No,
Yeah.
No,
And
in terms of the pacing
right?
of the pacing
So
and the horror.
is this a joke?
It's
yeah,
a much
no, I'm
more,
serious. Like it's
much
supposed to be
more-
more straightforward.
Yeah, it's go. But I mean, all the '80s music cues. I mean, the trailer
Yeah.
had all. It's awesome, and it's pretty violent, not gory, but it's a different movie. But I liked it a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot more I could go into that's spoilery.
That
but
means that maybe the third one will be that series Season of the Witch, which will be fucking excellent.
It'll be an anthology. It'll be the start of an anthology that never
Why,
happens.
why does everyone hate Halloween 3?
I used to.
Halloween
I don't
3
know.
is,
It's actually
is so fun.
Because it doesn't
It
have
is-
Michael Myers.
it is good.
But it's such a fun
It shouldn't
movie.
be
The
right.
end of it is pretty ridiculous.
I used to have a big issue with it. Now I've come to love it because I've just learned to put
Now you want
past.
them
and
Silver Shamrock masks.
I just disregard that. It's got Halloween 3 as the
Right.
prefix.
Right.
If it was just a regular movie, it was just called Season of the Witch, I'd be all for it.
Well, and I understand their reasoning of calling it Halloween because it's like, oh, we're going to do a Halloween anthology series.
Well, they
like,
wanted to
okay,
do
you shouldn't have
something-
called it Halloween 3 then. You should have just been like, oh, this movie's also called Halloween.
Right. It's the
And it's-
Halloween cinematic universe.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of funny though that all of a sudden,
But then
in the one moment in Halloween 3, they're watching TV and there's a clip from the original Halloween
Halloween.
on TV.
Yeah.
It's fun.
I think that was just them trolling.
That was them trolling, yeah. And then they were going to do the anthology thing, and then it didn't do well, so then the fourth one is just a soft reboot.
Right.
The fourth one is
one is-
basically a remake of the first one.
Fourth one is good. I mean,
Fourth
it's not
one is,
really-
but-
Fourth one's good. Fifth one sucks. Sixth one's pretty good.
The fifth
But-
one sucks because the fourth one set up the
Which one was
girl
Rob Zombie one?
as the killer,
That was
and
the
then they never
2007
fucking did
And then they
anything
didn't
with
do
it.
anything with it.
Yeah, they didn't do it. But then the sixth one, I mean, it's a little wonky when they go the thorn and the like Celtic symbols and
But
tattoos
Rudd.
are bringing.
And
but,
Paul Rudd,
but young
yeah.
Rudd is Tommy Doyle.
You have a really weird scene of him beating Michael Myers with a pipe.
Right. But yeah, well, I'll take that. It's no, at least it's not Trick or Treat, motherfucker. And Busta
Yeah.
Rhymes drop kicking Michael Myers through a window.
There's no.
Trick or treat,
It's a
motherfucker.
dramatic pause. Trick or treat, motherfucker.
Motherfucker.
You gotta pause for it.
It's been a while.
It's
I don't-
called
I don't-
acting,
I don't-
Mr. B.
I don't remember
It's
the
called
dramatic
busting
pause.
a rhyme.
I don't remember the dramatic pause.
I
I
will.
just remember the
Busta
drop
Rhymes
kick.
was in Halloween Resurrection, right?
Yes.
And it was it LL Cool J and
It was
H2O?
H2O.
No, it was Hartnett was in H2O.
Wasn't
a sequel
LL
to
Cool
that.
J also in
He was in H2O.
H2O?
Okay.
Yeah.
And then Resurrection was like 4 years later.
Right,
That,
Busta
that was
Rhymes.
Busta.
Trick or
Was JGL in H2O too?
motherfucker.
Yeah, the very beginning.
Yeah.
He gets a fucking hockey skate through
He
his
gets-
hand.
Yeah, he was the hockey skate one. Yeah, okay.
Will you guys watch horror movies with me? Because
Yes.
Absolutely.
you get to see them otherwise.
A lot of horror movies
We're
I need
just
to
gonna
watch.
say it on every podcast.
No, it's
now.
been
Let's
three.
watch
It's been a
it
while since
together.
we've all recorded. You said you get
This
one a
motherfucker
month.
still
Have
needs
you
to see
had
it.
one in the last month?
One a month.
I thought that's what you told
Year,
me.
man.
Oh, so you haven't started watching Haunting a Hill House yet?
I want to watch. No, I want to watch it with you guys. Though.
Yeah.
No, let's watch it.
Did you
It's
finish?
a fucking...
Did you finish Hill House?
No, I tried to, and I don't know. So I don't know if my mental state is up to the point where I can deal with the depression. Show is depressing as hell. I just got done with the 6th episode, the long take episode.
Yeah.
And the last shot of it, literally, like I watched it and I was like, I don't think I need the sadness in
If
my
it's
life.
what I remember right, is that one that's got? Is that one of the like 2 jump scares?
No, there's actually been a few jump scares so far. There's the softer jump scares.
There's one at the. I thought it was the end of that 6th episode, but maybe it's later.
No, I
No, it's
I
the
think I
second
know
to
the
last
jump
one.
scare you're
It's the
talking
second to
about.
last episode.
I've people always talk up 2 jump scares in it. One of them, people were like, "Oh, it's in a hallway and it's really unexpected," and that one happened already.
There's other ones. It's at the very end of the penultimate episode, leading right
Okay.
before the finale. Now I'm remembering, but
I think I know what you're talking about.
oh, but now I know
what
what you're. At the end of the 6th one, you get the revelation of who a certain ghost is.
That was at the end of the 5th one.
Was it the 5th one?
But the end of the 6th one. Okay, the end of the
Man,
6th
this is
episode, it had a shot.
This is riveting
It
riveting
had-
podcast.
It had a. Do you want me to spoil it?
No,
It had
I
a
just-
shot of that ghost, and it was the saddest thing I've ever seen.
It is pretty sad.
Because it's like my favorite character, and like it's that whole episode was just building up to that
Look,
one final
what
shot,
you
and
do, Blair,
I
is
just
you just go watch Hush, and then she's in the whole movie.
is she really?
Well, the
Is she
same
like-
director, Mike Flanagan, did that Hush movie.
Yeah, is that her?
Yeah. He does a lot of the same people.
Oh, nice. I know the one sister is his wife. I know Theo is married to Mike Flanagan.
Spoilers.
Oh no, maybe it's no. I think Theo.
Spoilers.
Theo
is
is
in
the
Hush.
one, yeah.
She's in Hush.
You gotta give a spoiler alert.
Do you have any more tidbits, Mr. B?
No, that's all I've seen of it. But
no.
I definitely see Hell House LLC. I haven't seen the second one. I know it's on Shudder, but and then The Strangers Pray at Night. Don't expect it to be The Strangers. 'cause
What's
it
the
looks
second
like
one called?
Hell House
LLC
LLC
to the Abaddon Hotel.
Did you make that up?
No,
Okay.
But no,
but it's on Shudder. So
Hill
I
House,
think it was
though.
financed by Shudder.
And I'm not saying I
So
stopped
Shudder
hating Hill House
original.
because it's bad. It's actually fucking really
Hill
good,
House is
and
really
it just keeps
fucking
getting
good.
better.
It should get some Emmy noms.
There's
There's
some shots in because the long take I counted. It's like I think it cuts 4 times before because
something.
the last like 5 minutes of it's a
'cause
regular
it cuts,
episode.
It cuts back and forth between the things, but like that period is
The
almost
thing
like
is,
one
though,
shot.
the first time it does that. So, Donovan, to explain it to you, I guess you haven't watched it yet either. The idea is that the show goes back and forth in times, like when they're living in the house and then when they're adults.
Yeah.
And the episode does that too, and it's all long takes. And the first time it goes into the past, it doesn't cut. The first cut is like 20 minutes in.
Right.
And it's fucking amazing.
It
but-
scrolls across a door or whatever, and then the
Yeah, like
hallway
it
just
follows
changes.
him. Like they literally had a set made where the
Wow.
2 sets are connected. So he walks through. So like he asks, like they're in the funeral home, and that's like the setting of the
Current
timeline, and then he's like, "Oh, I need to use the bathroom," and they're like, "Oh, it's down there," and he walks through it, and as he's walking down the hallway, it just becomes Hill House.
Whoa.
Yeah.
But it's all one continuous take, and then like the way
So it's artsy.
Oh my god,
it's, artsy
it's
as
fucking
fuck,
really cool.
But Blair, I know it is a little depressing, but just push through because it's fucking good.
Yeah, like I was like seriously like I don't know why. Like it's not like it's not like that last shot revealed anything
the youngest
new.
sister's story is sad.
It's not like that shot revealed anything new. I just like it's a very like quiet way to end the episode, and I just like I felt tears welling up, and I was like, I don't know if I need this right now.
And youngest sister's been what she's been haunted by the whole time, and you realize,
oh god,
her life fucking sucked.
So fucking depressing.
And then her twin brother sucked, and
so
for different
depressing.
reasons.
And people are like, a lot of people are saying the thing they don't like about it is that it ends too happy, and I'm like, how? How can it possibly end happy?
Has to be a big turnaround. Well,
Yeah.
maybe it ends too happy for what you've seen.
For what it is.
But for what it ends. Yeah.
Well, I know
wouldn't
The
say it's
Haunting,
happy, but it's
like I've seen the movie. I never read the book, but I've seen the original movie, The Haunting,
Oh yeah.
and that's like the '60s one.
not the Luke Wilson.
Not the Luke
Liam Neeson
Wilson one.
Or Luke
not
Wilson
the
gets his head taken off by the giant chimney thing
Was
because
that
he
a-
gets stuck on the
Owen
rug
Wilson,
like Arthur
Owen Wilson,
Morgan.
yeah.
Was that a Vincent Price movie?
Yes,
The first one was the
Yeah.
original.
That full circle.
and that's a pretty moody, cool movie. But that has a depressing ending.
Moody.
So
Cool.
Moody Cools, yeah. But that's
Sequel to Moody
regardless,
Blues.
it's really good. It's really good. It's just
I had
obviously
a-
it's effective if it's making me like I have to take a break.
It's been like 3 weeks and you've only been able to get through one or 2 episodes.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, my wife and I do that sometimes. We're looking for something to watch, and we know there's just too much strife in it. We
Yeah.
look at each other and we're like, strife. We just keep scrolling for something happier. It's not a strife kind of night.
But yeah.
I
Blair, you're going to love Strangers Dose.
Strangers Dose.
And I didn't know,
I
and maybe I
really
just
wanna
didn't remember
see
because it came out a year ago and I don't remember the trailer. I didn't know fucking Christina Hendricks was in it.
Yeah, she's the mom, isn't she?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Hell yeah.
Does she unleash those warlocks onto the screen?
I wish, but
God.
That's how she beats the
you should
man
check
in
the
the mask to
internet.
death.
Just check the internet for that.
Fum, fum, fum.
Just check the internet.
Dunzo.
For that.
Holds him down in a pool with him. Yeah.
I feel like that's an
James.
element of 80s slasher flicks that's like inseparable from the medium that modern slasher flicks don't do as much as the
Needless boobs.
the gratuitous, totally unnecessary
Hashtag
tits.
free the nipple.
Right, right.
Even if in
Jason,
fucking Slaughter High, the boobs are nothing fun to look at.
God, Slaughter High has the worst boobs.
It's the worst boobs I've ever seen on camera.
The best part of nudity in Slaughter High is a dong.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's
Well,
an
come on now.
impressive dog.
It's a pretty
That's,
impressive.
guy
al- that's
hangs
always
dong?
that's
Yeah.
always the
Oh,
best
yeah.
part of nude.
Dude.
And he hangs
Dong.
dong unnecessarily because the shot that there's a shot before it where he's wearing underwear, and then the shot immediately after it he's wearing underwear.
Right.
But
so
the
the
reveal
nude
shot when he basically they're bullying him and they're pretending like this girl's gonna take off your clothes and we're gonna fuck in the shower, and then there's just a bunch of people taking pictures, and he strips down. So he had to be naked for the reveal, but the rest of the scenes there's no continuity to it. So you're like, why is he what?
Hey, we need to put lady butts
Yeah.
in seats. Drop
That's
dong.
true.
Drop
It was
dong.
in-
Hey.
The thing is, they shot an unrated version and an R-rated version, and then when they released it on DVD, they just mixed them.
Yeah,
so
that's
it was
true.
like R-rated scene, unrated, R-rated scene, and it doesn't make any fucking
I
sense.
thought maybe the unrated was an uncircumcised cock.
the
They digitally circumcised him.
No, they just stunt cock for the unrated. We need an unrated stunt cock in here.
Can you get that stunt cock, please?
It's got to look like one of those things we were talking about in the last episode.
Dude,
the
we
tubes.
have so many bad horror movies we can watch together.
Yeah,
Oh,
like,
God, yeah.
like Devil's Hound, Werewolf.
Have you guys seen 976 Evil 2?
Oh my god!
I haven't seen 967 Evil 1.
I haven't seen 976 Evil 1 either.
I don't
but
think I need
976
to.
Evil 2 is the greatest movie ever made.
976
Fuck you guys are
Evil
talking about
was
right now.
was that directed by Robert Englund? The
Bobby
first one?
Ing?
I
The
think
first
it was.
one, it was
yeah.
directed,
Bobby.
and I think the second one might have been produced because he was in a scene of the second one, wasn't
Yes,
he?
yeah.
Well, Bobby Ing will be in any horror.
Oh, yeah.
movie. He's like Sam Jackson. You pay his rate.
But I think
976 Evil 2 is.
I think he did direct the first one, and then he produced and had a small role in the second one. But oh my god, that movie is just, mwah. It's so good.
It turns in like legitimately one of the best performances from lead actor in a horror movie, and then he was never in anything else, and it's fucking a travesty. It's like almost as good as like the Nightmare on Elm Street 2.
Oh yeah.
What was that actor's name? He was like never in anything else after that, but he was fucking awesome.
Johnny Depp.
No,
It was
that was
Johnny
not
Depp.
Johnny
Yeah.
Depp.
Oh wait, that was the first one.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah, I think his name was Mark something.
Yeah.
Wahlberg?
Not
That happens in
Wal-
all-
no, He
that's the-
wasn't in anything else.
That's the
after
thing
it.
about horror movies back then. People didn't take them seriously, so if you had a really good performance in it, if you weren't already known before then fucking
Mr.
good
B
luck.
just wants to talk about The Happening. That's why he's bringing it up.
No, I'm good. I'm good.
You guys know you can play a drinking game with any Mark Wahlberg movie where you drink every time he delivers a line out of breath.
Oh shit!
Every
You're fine.
That makes a lot of sense.
every movie he's in. What?
What?
What's going on?
What if he gives a line where his character's from Texas, but he
plants are killing people?
says, "I think I found a transformer. I'm from Texas.
I think I found a transformer.
This is a wicked transformer." Here in
I think you just drink until you die because
Yeah.
that's your better option at that point.
Turns out Wahlberg can't do accents.
No, it's not his forte.
Turns out
Excellent
he's always
actor
got a
when he
breath,
wants to
too.
be.
Speaking of accents, I have no idea why I said that, but did you see the trailer for Hobbs and Shaw that came out yesterday?
No.
Fast and the Furious
Oh,
presents
I heard that
Hobbs
they're
and Shaw.
doing it. I didn't
Yeah,
know
the
there was
trailer
a trailer
dropped
already.
yesterday.
Oh,
I mean, it
it's
looks
like a spin-off.
Yeah, it looks. I mean, like all of them, it looks ridiculous.
Uh-huh.
Like all the trailers do. But the Fast and the Furious movies are fun. The one thing I don't get about this,
They'll make 8 of them,
They
probably.
show it in the trailer. Is fucking Idris Elba is the bad guy, you know?
Really?
Ooh.
Fucking, they give him. He's like a superhuman. He's like he goes under some experiment and he's bulletproof and he can do shit. And he's like, they show it in the trailer. And I'm like,
Sold.
okay,
Interest
it's one
now.
thing when it's ridiculous.
Sold.
There's one shot where they're fighting, and Idris Elba picks up the girl and some other guys, and they got like rock climbing stuff on, but they're on a building, so they jump down the building and they're running down the side of the building. They're strapped up, you know. So the Rock and and Shaw or whatever, they're like, let's do it. And they're gonna jump, and the Rock jumps on him and says, slowing down, and Statham just looks at him and like waves, and he's like, and he's going down. Statham gets in the elevator and starts going down. The Rock like shoots the elevator glass door, but it doesn't really. It like puts a little crack, and he just laughs. And the Rock takes the guy he catches and swings him over to the elevator, smashes it into it, starts breaking. He looks at Statham, and he gives a "fuck you," and then it kind of Hobbs and Shaw.
I'm never watching a trailer
What is-
ever again. I'm just gonna have Mr. B watch them and describe them to me from now
All
on.
I can think, when like hearing you describe that, is what is this Mickey Mouse bullshit I see before my very eyes?
Yeah, it's showing him like getting some kind of surgery. He's like, "A surgery. I'm now bulletproof, and I have superhuman
Oh my
strength."
god, did you guys ever
Does
see
he
the
have his
fucking
regular accent?
Yeah, he's got his regular.
good.
the fucking Agent 47 Hitman movie with Zachary Quinto?
No, I never saw that one.
They do the same fucking shit where he's like,
Zachary Quinto's
He's,
the
like,
bad guy,
invincible?
he's bulletproof.
yeah, it's so stupid. It makes me want to fucking die.
Yeah, but see,
I don't remember that.
that's based on a beloved franchise, and this is Fast and the Furious. So
Right.
Which is
I'm
a
cool with
beloved
it now.
franchise.
It's
but,
very beloved.
and I'm
it's beloved for
mind-blowing
reasons
how
where
beloved
bulletproof
it is.
Idris Elba sounds good for me.
No, it's weird though that for me it didn't. Like they're all ridiculous and you know
Yeah.
a way unrealistic. But for some reason, like okay, at least it's stuff that could never like physically happen. Like you can't drive cars off buildings in Dubai and land through another. I mean, if you got really really lucky, you could. But, you know, stuff like that. But also they're putting paranormal. There's one spot. I don't know who's driving. It's a tank, and I'm sure it's probably the Rock.
Oh yeah,
And it's
He's
got
the-
must
he's
be
the
it
tank
must be a
expert.
bulletproof tank or whatever. It hits something, and it's doing like barrel rolls in the air as people are shooting it. So the bullets hit the bottom. It blocks bullets. It jumps in front
Does
of
it
people.
deflect them?
There's people coming, and he drives it in front of the people so that the bottom of the car, he spins it perfectly so the bullets hit the bottom of the Jeep.
Oh, so he
lands
protects
back
people.
up.
I thought he was gonna like. I thought he was
that's
gonna do a barrel
defensive
roll and
driving.
deflect the bullets back and
I mean,
kill the motherfuckers.
bro, this is the trailer. I don't know
That's
what
true.
the full context of the scene is going to be.
Oh,
But-
okay. Once
Join
you've made
us-
the sale, quit selling. All right.
Yeah. You don't have to sell us on it anymore.
My God.
Day one.
Join us next week as Mr. B describes trailers for movies.
You guys tell me if there's ones that just are worth it.
Yeah,
All right, well,
Well, there'll be a lot of trailers tomorrow that get dropped during the Super Bowl. But
we're going.
the new Avengers trailer is supposed to drop.
I still
during
haven't
the
seen
Super
the
Bowl.
first Avengers trailer.
Shit, really?
So they're saying
It's good. You should see it.
It won't depress you at all.
We're going a bit long. Does anyone have any final thoughts before we wrap this episode up?
Oh, I have a question, Don, and you may not have an answer for it yet,
Okay.
and that's fine. The answer might just be don't know yet. But what's it like having sex listening to us talk?